Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Death Wish Hot Rods and Customs. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup. Joel, thanks for joining us on the show, brother. Of course, how's everything going where you are?
Yeah, it's we're inside a lot because we're in lockdown 7, 6. I can't remember. I've lost count. But we're in
Yeah.
Melbourne, so we released the album on Friday, which was super cool, worldwide, which is exciting. So we're all like really pumped and really keen to like get out and play some shows. But you know, unfortunately,
Yeah.
circumstances are against us at the moment, like most of the industry, but in Australia. So yeah, man, we're just trekking along, and we're just really loving the response to the record, and really loving
Huge.
the support from like our fan base and stuff. So that's super cool.
Everything I've seen, it's huge. Like the
Yeah,
response has been really, really fucking positive, man. And of
yeah,
course, you know the band. You're from the Ugly Kings, and the
yeah.
album is Strange, Strange Times.
That's the one.
And dude, it's very relevant. That title is very, very relevant to everything that's
Yeah,
going on right now.
yeah. It is, man. It's such a weird time in history, I guess. Like the pandemic and everything and lockdowns and stuff. So yeah, it is, man. Sometimes you wake up and you're like, fuck, I can't remember what day it is, and everything feels a bit odd, a bit like that film Groundhog Day with Bill Murray in it. It's like revolving door, and you're like, damn, what day? Yeah, I'm stuck on this. Like, I think it's Thursday, but I'm not sure.
It is Thursday. No, is I think it's Thursday. Yes, it's
Yeah, we'll
Thursday.
call it Thursday.
We'll
Yeah,
call it Thursday. But
yeah.
it was recorded this year. Is that right?
Yeah, so we were like 20 last year we were ready to go into the studio in like I think late February we were starting to get ready to do like some rehearsals just before we went into to like track this thing, and yeah, late Feb it just numbers started increasing, and then I think we're booked in early March, and man, we had to call it like the next week because they were calling a lockdown, so in Victoria, so everything shut down, um and then we were patient, and we just kept checking in on like Zoom chats, like sort of what we're doing now, and that whole world opened up, and then when Victoria was cool to go again and things were happening, we just started like getting back in the studio and rehearsing and finishing writing this album. Like we sort of did a few tweaks, and then come February, late February, we're in at Newmarket Studios in Melbourne, and man, we just tracked it out, and I think the first week of March we were out of there, and now it's out like a couple months later. So it was a good quick little turnaround, and we're super happy with it and super proud of it, and yeah, it was. We just had to take the opportunity, essentially.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
that is a really quick turnaround. I've been hearing a lot of bands that have, especially since it's out on vinyl, um
yeah,
a lot of bands that are, because the factories and everything like that, it's sort of, so to have it out like now in that amount of time is a mega effort. Well done.
yeah. We had the band. So, like I said earlier, I'm the fourth drummer in the band, and so every release prior to this, the band had released on a Friday the 13th. It was a bit of a tradition,
Yep.
and so the only Friday the 13th this year was August, the one and only. So we were like, let's line it up and make it happen.
Smash it.
So yeah, so our co-producer and engineer, and he was the recording engineer and mix engineer, Julian Schwitzer down in Melbourne, who's just like phenomenal. He just worked really hard, and man, we went from like recording to mixes to mastering and to the label to get presses in a really really quick time.
It's kind of unheard of. So
Yeah,
I mean, especially to hit that Friday the 13th date as well. I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
yeah. We just aim for it, and we're like, we've just got to make it happen. So the guitarist in the band, Christos, his day job is like project manager in like some pretty high end companies, and he just gave us our timeline and gave us our jobs, and we just worked around lockdowns and.
You got to have someone like that. You got to have someone
Yeah.
like that in the band, or shit just doesn't get done. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's a band that everyone I've ever known in a band is
Yeah.
and you got to set those deadlines for the jams, or
Yeah,
it just
man.
doesn't happen. Everyone goes,
Yeah. It
uh,
can, and I think I think that like someone's like, oh, I've got this thing with work, and then it moves back.
yeah.
Since like the pandemic, we're like, man, we just got to make it happen. Let's stick to our dates, and if we don't, the factor yeah, Chris is cool, but he's an amazing man, but he also he knows how to work a project really well. So it's great to have him there. He's a huge asset to us. And yeah, I think what you're talking about with the vinyl factories is like, I'm pretty sure ours was pressed in Czechoslovakia. I can't remember
Oh
exactly
wow.
where, but so they pressed it and then they had to send it over and for our copies, and then the labels got theirs and stuff. So yeah, it was a bit of a supply chain going on, and if we didn't meet our dates, they were not going to be here in time for
And
our fans who have bought the record and want it.
what a mission. But hey,
Yeah.
the album's fantastic, and was it the neon green is
Man,
fucking awesome. Like
yeah,
that looks
it's
incredible.
yeah, that's a cosmic. I'm pretty sure it's a Cosmic Artifacts exclusive. So, Cosmic's a little like subsidiary label in Europe that
Yeah.
sort of like a little indie, and they just worked with Napalm Records, our label, and got an exclusive color, and then we got some copies of that. So, man, it looks wild. Like, and you put it up to light, and you're like, whoa, what have I taken?
You got a copy yourself, right?
Then now I've got the gold, I've got the Napalm exclusives, and
Yep.
I've got the band exclusive. I don't have neon green. I need to get a little timeline with Christos to work out when I can pick it up when lockdowns are over.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So in saying that, how have you been drumming and keeping up? The I guess I mean, have you got an
The
electric kit?
physical.
Yeah, the physical
Man,
side of things.
yeah, so I teach drums a couple like a day a week at a primary school.
Oh, cool.
And so, yeah, so I've got a kit at home. I've got a kit at another business I work at that I can use, but at home I just use practice pad and my own kit. And when we're not in lockdown, I jump down there. But I think the lockdowns they've been patchy enough to be like, I'll do some practice at home, get into some rudiments, keep my hands moving, keep my feet moving. And then when I get on a kit, I just sweat it out for about an hour and a half and play catch up for a few days. But man, it is tough. Like my forearm strength is so much weaker, and like playing some of these tracks. And we shot a video between lockdowns for Strange Times, just a couple weeks ago, and
Mad.
like playing that a bunch of times through however many times on the day, I was like, oh yeah, this is drumming's very physical. Like, every musician has a physicality, but you forget like just that forearm and arm strength that you need. And yeah,
It happens,
need
man.
to.
Like I even find, like, as a vocalist, if I don't do it for like a month, it takes me to get it. Just you can feel it. Hey, you can feel where you're gonna. Oh, I gotta get that back again. It takes me a gym or so to
Yeah,
get that back, that muscle again. So
yeah. I
yeah,
saw you're doing. Are you doing any cleans, or are you just mainly
mainly deathy, screamy,
deathy?
screamy. Little
Yeah,
tiny bit of clean stuff, but
yeah,
like
right.
the other ones, but more so, yeah.
Yeah, because I just had a quick squiz on your socials and was like, oh yeah, like man, Nev's a beast. Like,
Oh, thanks, buddy.
man, like I saw it at a live jam and you're just going holding this huge screen, and I was like, man, that's wild.
Thank you. I appreciate
No
that.
worries.
Thank
But
you.
I can definitely tell a month off would probably wreck your vocals after that first jam. Like,
Oh, it's just not as good.
not not as
It's just,
brutal.
yeah, it's not as brutal, but feel it and you go, oh, okay. But then usually, next week or night after, it's back. But I
Yeah,
definitely know what you're saying. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like if
man.
you're not,
And
you got to
it's
do it every day.
yeah, it's not the same. It's definitely not the same. Like I really need to get back into the studio and just work. Like it's like, an athlete, the Olympics were just on, like, man, they train, 6 days a week. Like I just gotta
Yeah,
get back into that movement of like playing live too. Live's a different beast to like studio and rehearsals. Like, yeah, like I always think like, oh, I'm practicing like very similar sort of stuff, and then I play live and I'm just like hitting, 10% harder and putting more of a theatrical element into it, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
And got the long hair and that's going everywhere. So the neck for the next few days is like a bit stiffer. And
The
after a
windmills.
live show, yeah, just like just grooving too hard.
mate, mate. I don't know how dudes like Corpse Grinder do it.
Yeah, they
The
they
neck.
just
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Next level.
It is, but you've was it the video for Technodrone was played on Rage.
Yep.
Man,
That was like teenage I don't know, like a tick of teenage approval, I guess. Like,
yeah, man.
um, yeah, we stayed up and watched it, and I can't remember the context whether because we weren't together for it. We didn't have like a watching party or whatever, but we definitely watched it, and yeah, it was wild. It was super wild. Like seeing your name on that and seeing yourself on the screen. I was like, yeah, I should have taken a photo and sent it to my mum and been like, hey, mum, look at me.
Selfie. Did you record? I don't know. Well, I mean, it's weird. We don't have VCRs these days, but
No, no, I didn't record it, but I should have. I should have just set up like a camera and just, I don't know. There's probably like heaps of copyright stuff going on there.
I don't know.
Nah.
That's your own stuff. It's like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure. That's a good one. Maybe ring up like arts media lawyers and be like, can I film my own song?
Then I know you can't. It's like that.
Yeah. Damn it.
Like the
I sue
Simpsons
myself.
lawyer. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, you're taking yourself to court on Monday. It's like, what? On what? Yes. No.
How
But
do you
did you
plead? I'm not
innocent?
sure.
Are you
I
asking
plead the
yourself the right
fifth.
question? But did you wake up the household? Like, did you wake up?
Nah, nah. I've got my wife and I have a little kid, and
Oh,
yeah, so I definitely had to keep it on like the lower level of things. I would have liked to have blasted it, but I would have been blasted by a screaming 1-year-old.
I know that one, man. I know that
Yeah,
one. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
How's it all gone? Like, I mean, you know, being a
With
dad
lockdown and a
and
kid and
you've
being
got,
in a
I mean,
band and everything.
musical babies and
Yeah,
real babies. It's
yeah,
it's it's a. I mean, through all this stuff, it's a shitty
yeah,
thing, but that is a lot of positivity right there. And
man.
congratulations, by the way, man.
Hey, thank you so much. And yeah, I think just from socials, you've got kids, obviously.
Yeah, I'm a grandpa.
Yeah, well, you're a very young looking grandfather.
Al, it's you know,
It's the genes.
no, it's a long story.
This
I'm
is
very
a
old.
long story. Yeah, right.
No, I don't
Um,
know what it is. It's this lighting.
it's
If you saw me
yeah,
under real
yeah.
light, you'd be like, "Oh fuck, this 80-year-old dude."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Maybe what's you just like it's Olay
Yeah.
Regenerous or something.
Shh, don't tell my secret. But
Yeah, yeah.
beers.
Nah,
But
but well, so the question was, yeah, man, it's musical babies and real life ones and a pandemic. It's like every time I feel down, it's like I get super joyous with like, you just have to see a little kid and like, you know, it might be a relative or your own, or, you know, your friends or your sibling, and you're just like, man, like when they're joyous, there's no happier, more pure being in the universe, you know, than like a happy kid, like
Yep.
a little baby toddler. So that's really, it's a good thing to be locked down with, like, you know, the love of my life, and love of the two loves of my life, I guess, you know,
Man.
like my son and my wife. So yeah. And then we've got this album, like Thursday night stayed up until midnight and listened to it, watched it come on Spotify. And
Wow.
man, it was, because I've listened to the masters a bunch of times, but to see it on a streaming platform and to see it live and to have that like release was like, I think the short turnaround was like, it was quite not super stressful, but like it was there was a lot of like work to go into it, so it felt,
Absolutely.
yeah, it felt like a big release. And I just shed a few tears of joy. I was just like so happy and tired because, you know, I've got a little kid and
Yeah,
midnight's
man.
late
Yeah.
at the moment. And yeah, it was just overwhelming joy at this album being released to the world. And I think back to your original question, like, you know, I know a lot of people are struggling out there, and you know, musicians particularly losing a lot of work. But I think just looking for those positives and those joyous things in my life personally, I'm like, you know, this is definitely helping me, and it helps my art, and it helps me create, and it helps me just every day to appreciate like an album release, or like, you know, a show on a video on Rage or something. Like, it's just a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Crazy, man. It is crazy. It's
Yeah.
like it's like two complete extremes. You know, I've gone through it as well. I know a lot of other people. I know, you know, there is a lot of people out there are a lot of people out there that are doing it really tough right now, and I really feel for them. But you know, there's been some devastating sadness that's affected people, but at the same time, like I know a lot of people that have had great joys in their life as well during this time. I've never ever experienced anything quite like these extremes in my whole entire 40 years of being on this planet. It's crazy,
Man.
fucking
Yeah.
insane. But
Oh, isn't it? Yeah. It's a real roller coaster of a ride at the moment. And, you know, it's I'm definitely riding that high at the moment. We're sort of ascending
yeah,
upwards
man.
before, hopefully not before a big drop, maybe just like a
Oh.
little twisty and, you know, a little inversion, and then we just land back safely at
Nah,
the
dude,
start, and
we
we
want
do
it.
it all again.
We want it up and up and up. That's what we want. Because I mean, here's another thing: is you know,
Yeah.
signing to Napalm, which is like one of the best labels on the fucking planet. I don't think I know any other bands that are
Oh,
signed, Aussie bands, or not many bands that are signed to Napalm. That's a huge thing, man.
yeah. Yeah, it is. I was looking on their Wikipedia page the other day, and like Mammoth, another Melbourne band who are super great. They were pre worldwide pandemic
Yeah.
signed, and just I looked at their socials like a while ago, and I'm not sure if they're still continuing, but don't quote me on that.
Hmm.
But they were definitely a Napalm band. Um, and you've that's a good question. I'd have to have
I
a
should
sift
know
through it.
this. I should
Yeah,
definitely know this.
yeah.
Sorry,
Heaps of
Chris.
European, heaps of European bands on their roster, and North American and Scandinavian and stuff. So yeah, they're a beast, and they're amazing. They're super cool.
Man, you know, I'm so stoked for you boys. You know what I mean? It's well deserved.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah,
good, man.
thanks.
It is so good. But I mean, you know, have you in saying that, have you found that you've gained a lot of attention from around the world from that, where people have gone and checked you out in tiny little pockets of the world that you'd never even think
Yeah,
you know?
I reckon. Yeah, I reckon. Like it's probably Christos, who does a lot of, like I said, he's like the general and leads the way. But he just disseminates some of that info. Like, there's like, I don't know, someone in Alaska who's listened to the album like, X amount of times, or wherever it is, like some obscure base in Antarctica or something streaming it. I don't know. But there are those extremities, and I definitely think Napalm's exposure has helped us a ton. And it's Napalm Records, so it's like,
I know. Insane.
and if any, yeah, any band that gets signed to them, like, this is sort of a bit of, not like, it's like a bit of boasting, but it's like, if we're signed to Napalm, we must be doing something cool.
Yep.
So if they see potential within us, then hopefully like some of their listenership and fans do too. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Have you? I
Yeah.
mean, have you guys toured overseas?
Not overseas. No, we've just stayed in Australia. But with the jab rolling out and things, hopefully opening up a bit, where we're super keen to get overseas.
Man.
And Europe looks like it's getting back to some sort of regularity of, like, of sorts. Like, it won't be the same for some time, but there's definitely, I know Napalm were just live at Metal on the Hill, and like, there was some interviews going on with bands backstage, and man, it looked
Insane.
it reminded me of why we're doing this.
Yeah. Man, you guys.
This hall just full of humans just like loving and vibing the tracks. I was like, man, this is cool.
Man, Europe are gonna absolutely froth it when you get over there. Hey, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get there, and they're just gonna be like, "Holy shit!" They love Aussie bands like Airborne and stuff. They froth it. Rose Tattoo.
Yeah. We like, we're mates with some of the Airborne boys, like Nick, the bassist. He's good mates with Joel and Ryan O'Keefe, and
yep.
Yeah, we hang out with them every now and then, like when we can, and I bump into them every now and then, and some of their stories of Europe are like, it's just wild. Like, they're coming out opening for Maiden. Or did they already? I can't remember. They were meant to open for Maiden in 2020, and that got bumped. And like, they're doing all this cool shit, and it's like, fuck, man, that is, Europe is like where it's at.
It is where it's at. You know what? A lot of bands, I don't know, man. Growing up, you've always got the dream. You know what I mean? When you're young, you're like, oh, tour America. And then you realize at some point you go, the cool shit really happens in Europe. The big metal festivals, and they're the ones that love the heavy. So, man.
Yeah, it's cool, man. And it's I think we've definitely got our eye on that part of the world, and it just, we just circumstantially just have to wait for, we'll just bide our time and be patient, and we'll just see what the future holds. That little crystal ball will just be like, man, who knows?
But it's going to be all, man, it's all going to see as soon as it opens and you get there. Bam.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride, bro.
Man. Thanks, Nev. Cheers, man.
But I mean, I guess talking about, Australian bands, I feel like even with everything going on, there is something happening right now. Over the last couple of years, there's been a shift. There's been, bands like yourselves who have got like, the desert rock with a bit of that post-punk sort of thing going on. And then there's bands like Black Reno and Astro Death doing the two, there's something where I feel like we're on the verge of the next big explosion of something happening. Have you felt that?
Yeah, I do. Like, my first gigs with the Kings were on the 1,000 Mods tour a few years ago.
Yeah.
So Christos, he was born in Athens and came to Australia when he was young. And so him and Christian, I'm pretty sure it was Christian from Beats, brought out 1,000 Mods and did some shows.
Right.
We played a
Get out to Christian. Oi, Mose.
What a ledge.
Mose. Yeah, local.
What a ledge.
Yeah, he's a.
Yeah. And so they did that, and then what else? Oh, we played with Astro Death at the Frankie's show with 1000 Mods, and they, man, dude, did they rule or what?
So good.
Like, it was next level. Like, the guitar tone, they were just monstrous. Like, for a two piece, I was like, it's just like being smacked in the face. Like,
Yeah,
it was next level.
mate, best ever. Hey.
Yeah, but yeah, heaps of cool stuff going on. Like heaps of cool stuff in the Melbourne scene. Like that, I know some of the guys in Doctor Colossus who just released a Minnesota
Oh, that
record.
album's incredible.
Man, it's a really long title that I can't remember. The
Yeah.
something about a stinky butt or something.
Oh man, see, I can't remember anything tonight.
Yeah,
You know, I'm
it's the
just
lighting, Nev.
maybe
Sets your
so.
mood lighting.
Maybe
It
you'll
looks a bit
get off here
cool.
and I'll just be like having a seizure
Yeah.
from the
Oh
but
no.
was it? Oh fuck me. I can't even. I'm the same. Like I talked to
Yeah.
all those boys I can't remember names right now, and
Yeah.
I'm absolute blank. I'm with you,
Yeah,
but
I'd have to Google the name, but that record, like Doctor Colossus Rule, that is so cool.
yeah,
There's, I don't know who else. I wrote a like Andy's band, Two Headed Dogs, super cool. Released an EP last year, which they could be in that same like bluesy, hard, heavy stuff. There's some cool stuff coming out of Melbourne. Out of everywhere, but Melbourne. Who's there's a gazillion angry Mexicans. Those dudes are ruling hard as
heard
well.
them. I'll check
Yeah,
them out.
they got this sick song from a few years ago, "Rattle My Cage," and that's like constantly on play on my Spotify. And it's a sick film clip too, and they're lovely dudes.
Mate.
But yeah, I reckon we're definitely on the cusp of like, Airborne are definitely like leading the charge over there for that hard rock stuff, and who knows, post restrictive world, what'll happen, man.
Well, man, hopefully, of course, very, very soon. Yeah, you can go. I mean,
Yes.
you guys, hopefully, you can come up here, play Moe's. There you go. Come on, play
Yeah,
Moe's. That'd be
yeah, play
awesome.
most. Get Christian to. Yeah, we'll have some announcements for some stuff in a couple of weeks, and you know, we're just gonna plan to play them, and we'll play it by ear, and hopefully we can go to the places we're booking, and yeah, it's I was gonna say we were meant to play some shows already, but um yeah, we haven't been able to because those parts of the country aren't uh, going as well as other
Mm,
parts.
yeah.
Unfortunately, like heart goes out to everyone, particularly in like New South Wales and ACT. Like, yeah, but anyways, that's just keep an eye on our socials, and
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
see some stuff happening in a little bit, which is cool.
Absolutely. We'll have all the
And
links down here for all that. So do it. Do it.
yeah, cool.
Do it. You out there.
Do it, do it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know who I'm pointing at. I
Yeah.
don't know, man. We're getting crazy. It's the lighting. It does do a strobe thing, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get,
No,
we don't want
no.
seizures. But but it's it sounds like with when things get rolling, things are going to get really busy for you guys, and I'm really fucking stoked. The album's incredible. You're an amazing band. Every song is just bam, bam, bam. Was there many that were left over from the recording that didn't make the final cut?
Yeah, well, we didn't. I don't think we tracked much else. We were like pretty on a schedule. But there's tons of other stuff we in pre-pro. We just were like that thematically doesn't really sit with this
Mm.
this this body of work. So we got some cool stuff done in pre-pro, and yeah, it sounds monstrous even without being mixed or mastered. And we're like, fuck, we just can't wait for the next record as
Yeah.
well, and the next one. And so we got a ton of stuff just sitting there. It's just we go through like a bit of a refining process, and do a few things and make sure it's all all fitting together. Hopefully.
Man, you know what else sounds monstrous? That live album.
Yeah.
What was it? What's it? Killing Time at Cherry Bar.
At Cherry Bar.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, dude! That I don't know how you
Yeah.
guys pulled that off, but it sounds because live recordings don't always, I don't know, translate well without.
Yeah.
But this thing, like, I love how it's got like the crowd, and it sounds like you're there, and it doesn't sound like distorted or farty. It's amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I reckon that's down to two people. One of the old drummers for the band is a phenomenal sound engineer, Ryan
Yeah.
Scoble, and he recorded it live on the night. So he often does our sound in Melbourne and is just a wizard. And then the other wizard is who mixed it, and I think he mastered it. I think. Oh, don't quote me on that one either. But Julian Schwitzer, who did our record, mixed our live record. So I think it was that combination of like capturing it really well on the night and then mixing it in post to an aesthetic that we really liked. And yeah, it was super fun, and it's a super fun record. And I think it was a bit like last minute. We were going to do it, then we weren't, and then Christos had to like drive across town and get this like converter box to record off the desk, and
Crazy.
he trekked across the Westgate Bridge in his car in peak hour traffic and got this thing, and then made it happen. But yeah, it's pretty big for a live record, and I think how it translates that way, like Christos. Originally, the band was like Rusty on drums and singing, and Christos playing guitar.
Yeah.
And then he split his signal out to like a couple of guitar amps and a bass amp.
Yeah, sick.
And so he still does that splitting of amps. So when we're playing live, he's got like a DeVille and like a Tweed DeVille or whatever they are, those little hot rod, Fender box.
Yeah.
Those really loud little amps. And he just splits his signal through like, a bit of a daisy chain of pedals. So you've got like two options to give like a bit of a wall of sound, and like he's played through different combinations, but he finds that's like really good for like that crisp tone, and it won't pop and distort and sound like shit essentially.
It's hard to capture live, but I mean, it does sound incredible as you were saying, man. I love it. I think it's really good. I love the new album too. Man,
thanks, man.
It's all happening. It's all coming up,
It is.
Millhouse.
It's all coming up, Millhouse. And you get along with our singer Russ. He's like a bit of a Simpsons.
Is he? Where is he? Here he goes.
I don't know.
I have right here. I don't know if you can see it. A glow in the dark Millhouse Pog that looks at me awesome. All the time. Disapproval. Right here.
Is that when he? What did he do? Like, his soul went off rowing with someone else. Like, what was that? Oh, like Bart lost his soul.
I love that episode.
But then Millhouse gets his soul back, and then like, Bart's just like runs off and just does a Bart Simpson essentially.
That episode's fucking dark. There's some shit in that you're like, oh, that's a bit rough.
Yeah, there's definitely some dark themes in various Simpsons episodes. Those Halloween specials are pretty particularly fucked up.
Oh man, love them. I love them. Yeah. I saw a cookbook today. Oh, the Simpsons cookbook, which has got everything that they actually make in the Simpsons, and I want it.
That is so hell,
mate.
Is it officially Simpsons stuff, like official memorabilia, or is it someone's just like jotted down all the
It's the unofficial, but someone's actually like jotted it all down and made it legit. From like flaming mows to everything. It's fucking awesome. Right. And like Father's Day's coming up.
I'll write that on the notepad.
It's good, but
leave it there for the wife. What is it, man? I've always thought, what are those pickled? Are they pickled eggs at Moe's Tavern? Sometimes like, or are they pickled onions? Whatever they are. I'm like, man, they look funky. I think they're pickled boiled eggs. I'm like, who does that? They just sit there for like the whole 40-year span or 30-year span of The Simpsons. Like, damn, there's a lot of salmonella going on in that vat.
Do you know who would know that? The Dr. Colossus boys.
Yeah.
I think that's something to ask them.
I think Jono did an interview on a podcast, and he got beaten on a Simpsons quiz. He
Yeah.
lost. Yeah, he lost in his knowledge, and I think he was really like bummed about it. But he's super hilarious on social media, so it was probably exaggerated.
Oh man, he's hectic. I
Yeah,
love it. I
hectic
love
pretty
it.
much.
Hey, he got his own mural on a mural on in
Mural,
mural mural mural
mural.
mural. I can't say it properly, but have you seen it in person?
I haven't seen it in person. I've been to the city a couple of times, but I have not seen it in person. But it looks phenomenal as well. Like it's like the high priest, you know, like
Yeah.
it's the high priest Jono. Big John.
Insane. Good
Yeah.
dudes. Good dudes. But mate,
Yeah. No.
it's been awesome hanging on the show with you, man.
Yeah, it has been. It's been really good. I really appreciate your time and for it's being so welcoming and lovely.
Oh, and I didn't, we'll do one more change. Brutal.
Oh, that is
And
very
then now we're
brutal.
going back to it's broken. I just fucked up my life. But there we
There we
go.
go.
Thanks for being the guinea pig for my new lighting rig. I hope
No
I
worries,
haven't
man.
zapped your eyes. But
Nah, it's all good.
but
But yeah,
I
just
was just gonna say we're gonna all the links down here. So go get
yeah,
it. Everyone, go order it and get that vinyl.
yeah. It's super cool and man, yeah, just thank you again, and thank our fans for listening and supporting us so far. Like we wouldn't be doing it without the support of you and without you buying our albums and streaming our records and being social followers then and coming to our shows. It wouldn't happen. So yeah, strange times out through Napalm Records and Bandcamp, and I think you can get it at like JB Hi-Fi as well.
Really?
If you just rolled
Oh,
up to a JB, it'll be there somewhere. Hopefully,
totally
I'm not
should. You
making
guys
things
should
up.
do that. Buy online. I don't know why I'm pointing, but have you actually before we go? Have you been
Yeah,
into a JB? Have you been able to get into a JB and have a look,
not in
or is it
Melbourne
that
this
much
week.
locked down?
Yeah, we're that much locked down. I can order it online and click
Yeah.
and collect, so I can
Okay.
click and then rock up and get it, which I probably should do just to have a JB copy or a bit of memorabilia for myself.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Mm.
man.